There is a world within you that never sleeps, never grows tired, never argues, and never forgets. It is listening now. It has listened to every word ever spoken about you, every secret sentence you repeated in the privacy of your own mind, every feeling you allowed to linger in the secret chambers of your heart. This inner world is the silent architect of your life, the hidden scriptwriter of your destiny, and the quiet engineer of every circumstance you call reality. This world is your subconscious mind, and tonight, as you listen, you are walking into its holy of holies, into the control room where all outer conditions are born. You have lived for years, perhaps believing that life happens to you, that events are random, that other people's choices, the economy, the past, and chance have sculpted your paths. Yet beneath that belief, there has always been another sense, a whispered knowing that something deeper is at work, that your experience is not an accident, but the projection of a hidden film running continuously in the theater of your mind. That film is composed of images, emotions, assumptions, and conclusions that your conscious mind has impressed upon your subconscious through repetition, shock, and feeling. Your subconscious, like a perfect servant, has taken those impressions as instructions and has set about constructing your days from them. You may look around and see evidence of limitation, of lack, of sickness, of struggle, and wonder, why would I ever choose this? Yet the deeper truth is this: the subconscious mind does not choose in the way your waking mind chooses. It does not analyze or debate. It does not argue with your statements. It accepts whatever you feel as true, and then silently, obediently, and powerfully it organizes your biology, your behavior, your relationships, and your opportunities around that inner feeling. It is like a spiritual factory that never closes, a mental power plant transforming every thought you emotionally endorse into an electromagnetic signature, radiating through your nervous system, through your cells, through the quantum field of possibilities that surrounds you. There is a law at work here, precise and unfailing. It is the law that the inner world creates the outer world. You do not see with your eyes. You see through your eyes what you already carry within. Your brain is not simply an observer, it is a projector. The neural pathways etched by your repeated thoughts and feelings act like invisible tracks along which your perception runs. Your subconscious mind, which governs those pathways, is like the chief engineer, constantly adjusting the chemical balance of your body, tuning the filters of your attention, priming you to notice certain people and miss others, to interpret a comment as an insult or a blessing, to expect defeat or to quietly know success. Consider for a moment that nothing in your life is truly fixed. Neuroscience tells us that your brain is plastic, that the connections between your neurons can rewire themselves in response to new experiences, thoughts, and emotions. If it is finances, see yourself calm, organized, and grateful as you easily meet your obligations and enjoy more than enough. If it is health, see yourself moving freely, breathing deeply, feeling strong and vital. If it is relationships, see yourself communicating openly, feeling valued and loving in return. Whatever the scene, keep it simple and vivid. As you hold this image, breathe into it. With each inhale, feel the scene becoming more real in your inner world. With each exhale, release any tension or doubt that arises. If old objections whisper, "This is unrealistic," "You've tried before," do not argue with them. Simply apply the law of substitution. Gently affirm, "The infinite intelligence within me knows how to bring this about. My part is to accept it now, to feel its reality now. I trust the law." Stay here a little while, letting the feelings sink in. The purpose is not to see how intensely you can visualize, but how deeply you can accept. You are giving your subconscious a clear, emotionally charged pattern. In doing so, you are aligning your inner electromagnetic signature with the version of you who already lives this reality. When you are ready, let the image soften, like a picture slowly fading into light. Trust that nothing is lost. The subconscious has recorded it. The infinite has received it. From this moment on, you walk as someone who has already changed at the level of cause, even if the effects have yet to fully appear. You carry yourself differently, think differently, respond differently, because you know something has shifted within. In the days ahead, you may encounter situations that seem to contradict your new vision. Do not be discouraged. These are old echoes playing out, remnants of past impressions. Your task is not to wrestle with appearances, but to maintain your inner agreement with the new pattern. When doubt arises, you return to your scientific prayer, to your visualization, to your emotional alchemy. You say, "This too shall pass. The truth I have accepted will stand. The infinite is at work, even where I cannot see." Remember also the body in this process. Your subconscious mind communicates constantly through your flesh. When you deliberately relax your muscles, lengthen your exhalation, and soften your gaze, you are sending signals of safety to your nervous system. These signals tell your subconscious it is safe to change, it is safe to receive more, it is safe to trust. Somatic peace becomes the ground in which new beliefs can take root more easily. Let gentle movement, rest, and breath become part of your spiritual practice. They are not separate from prayer, they are its embodiment. Over time, as you live this way, you will notice an inner shift. The old identity, that of the struggler, the victim, the anxious one, feels less convincing. A new identity emerges, not from ego, but from truth. You begin to know yourself as a channel of infinite intelligence, a co-creator with the divine, an expression of universal love and wisdom. This identity is not about superiority, it is about alignment. You realize that the same power that shapes stars and oceans flows through your subconscious mind, ready to express as creativity, generosity, and inspired action. You move through the world with a soft but unshakable confidence. When challenges arise, you no longer say, "Why is this happening to me?" but, "What is this pattern revealing? What is life inviting me to see and transform?" You turn inward, commune with the infinite, and respond from a place of inner stability. Your outer actions, making calls, learning new skills, having honest conversations, are now guided by an inner clarity that feels like quiet knowing. This is divine cooperation. You are no longer pushing against life, you are working with its laws. And so we arrive at a gentle yet profound realization. All creation in your life begins in the mind, not in the outer conditions, not in the opinions of others, but in the invisible realm of thought and feeling impressed upon your subconscious. The mind is a magnet. Whatever ideas you hold with conviction, whatever emotional states you habitually dwell in, draw to you people, circumstances, and experiences that resonate with them. If you will magnetize your mind with thoughts of peace, abundance, love, and wisdom, saturated with the feeling of their reality, the law of your being must respond. This is not something you must strain to achieve. It is something you allow. The infinite is already within you, already urging you toward your highest potential. Each sincere desire for growth, healing, or contribution is the voice of the divine in you, seeking expression. Your role is to cooperate through scientific prayer, through visualization, through substitution, through emotional alchemy, through secrecy and silence, through nightly programming and daily awareness. As this journey of words draws toward its close, notice what is rising within you now, perhaps a subtle hope, a quiet enthusiasm, a deeper peace. This feeling is the beginning of your transformation. It is not loud, not sensational, but it is real. It is the recognition that you are not merely a bundle of habits and histories, but a conscious being with access to an infinite source. If you wish, place a hand gently over your heart and acknowledge inwardly, "I am the custodian of my subconscious mind. I choose now to fill it with truth, beauty, and love. The infinite intelligence within me guides my thoughts, directs my feelings, and shapes my destiny. I am not alone, and I am not powerless. I am an instrument of a greater life, and that life is expressing through me now." Let these words rest in you like a seed planted in rich soil. In the hours and days to come, they will sprout in ways both subtle and obvious. You may notice a kinder inner voice, a new idea arriving, a sense of ease where there once was tension. Each of these is evidence that the law is working, that the subconscious has heard and is responding. Walk forward now with a calm, radiant assurance. You do not need to rush or force anything. The silent engine is humming, the mental factory is producing, the divine blueprint is unfolding. Your task is simply to keep your inner agreement with the truth, that your mind is a magnet, your subconscious is the creative power of your life, and the infinite intelligence within you is forever on your side. In every thought you think from this moment on, you choose your world. Choose wisely, choose lovingly, choose in harmony with the highest within you. For as you change your consciousness, you change your destiny. Transformation begins always with a shift in thought and feeling, a quiet decision made in the sanctuary of your own mind. And in that holy place right now, the new you is already being born. What Joseph Murphy called the subconscious impressions, we now see as patterns of neural firing, emotional circuitry, and habitual states of being. Yet the truth he taught has not changed. What you impress upon the subconscious with feeling, you inevitably express in your world. The brain's neuroplasticity is simply the physical instrument of this deeper spiritual law. You have been endowed with an inner power so immense that, if you truly grasped it, fear would lose its grip on you this very moment. Every thought you dwell upon, every mental picture you lovingly revisit, every sentence you repeat in the stillness of your mind sends a message into your subconscious, and the subconscious, like fertile soil, does not care whether you plant roses or thorns. It will grow whatever seed you give it. It is an infinite garden, and you are the gardener. You cannot complain about the harvest of your life if you are unwilling to look at the seeds you are planting in the hidden season of thought. Now, notice the place in you that is listening. Not the voice in your head that comments and questions, but the quieter awareness behind it, the receptive field in which these words land. That is the doorway to your subconscious mind. It is vast, like an underground reservoir filled with memories, emotions, and beliefs. Many of these were poured into you when you were a child, when your brain was in a highly suggestible state, like soft wax ready to be impressed. You absorbed the moods of your parents, the opinions of your teachers, the beliefs of your culture. You may still be living under those impressions, like someone hypnotized long ago who has forgotten there was ever a hypnotist. But there is something greater flowing through you even now. Joseph Murphy called it the divine presence, the infinite intelligence, the indwelling spirit. Modern language might call it the organizing wisdom of the universe, the field of intelligence that orchestrates galaxies and grows a single cell into a human being. This intelligence is not separate from you. It breathes your lungs, beats your heart, repairs your tissues, and coordinates the trillions of processes within you every second, all without the slightest effort on your part. This same infinite intelligence awaits your direction at the subconscious level. It is like a divine blueprint factory, ready to construct whatever you truly accept as possible and true for you. Pause inwardly and sense beneath your thoughts a quiet, living presence. You do not have to see it with your eyes or hear it with your ears. It is the sense of being alive, of existence itself. That is the presence of the infinite within you, and your subconscious mind is its instrument. When you unite your conscious thought with trust, when you marry an idea with deep feeling, you are giving the infinite a pattern to work upon. This is prayer in its highest, most scientific form, not begging or bargaining with a faraway deity, but offering a mental image and a feeling of its fulfillment to the creative power within, and then allowing that power to do the work. Every prayer you have ever prayed has been answered in kind, not to the words you spoke with your lips, but to the belief and feeling you held in your heart. If you said, "I want prosperity," but secretly felt unworthy, your subconscious registered the feeling of unworthiness as the true command. If you said, "I am healthy," while fearing disease, it registered the fear. The subconscious always responds to emotional intensity, not to forced statements or strained affirmations. It takes the feeling tone as the law. Emotion is the ink with which you write upon its tablets. Think of your subconscious mind as a silent engine humming beneath the surface of your life. It powers your habits, your spontaneous reactions, your posture, your tone of voice, the way you look at the world. Long before your conscious mind forms a sentence, your subconscious has chosen the emotional color behind it. This is why you may wake up one day and feel inexplicably heavy, anxious, or angry. The engine has been running on old fuel, unresolved memories, unexamined beliefs, habitual fears. But just as you can change the fuel in a generator and transform what it powers, you can change the emotional energy stored in your subconscious and alter the course of your life. This transformation begins with awareness. Take a quiet breath now and feel the air as it enters your body. Become aware of the subtle tension in your shoulders, your jaw, your chest. These physical sensations are signals from your subconscious mind, translated into the language of the body. The subconscious speaks through feelings, through the autonomic nervous system, through the rhythms of your pulse and breath. Chronic stress, tightness, and fatigue are not random. They are the somatic echoes of inner beliefs like, I am not safe, I am alone, life is hard. When such beliefs are accepted by your subconscious, your body obliges. Gly shifts into defensive postures, hormones flood your bloodstream, the sympathetic nervous system remains overactive. Your outer problems then mirror this inner war. Yet there is another way. You can choose right here to become the conscious captain of your inner ship. Your thoughts are like commands delivered to the crew below deck. If you constantly cry, we're in danger, there is not enough, prepare for defeat, the crew, your subconscious, will tighten everything, conserve energy, hoard resources, and navigate as if storms are inevitable. But if you begin to speak with a different authority, calmly and repeatedly, we are guided, we are safe, there is more than enough, the sea of life supports us, then slowly the crew will adjust their actions. The course of your life will bend toward calmer waters, even if the waves still rise and fall around you. There was once a man who lived as though bound by invisible chains. He had grown up in poverty, with the repeated message that money is scarce, rich people are greedy, and our kind never get ahead. These sentences were not just words. They were emotional spells cast again and again. As an adult, he worked hard, but always seemed to sabotage opportunities. When he got a raise, expenses mysteriously increased. When he tried a new venture, he pulled back just before success. On the surface, he said, I want prosperity. But his subconscious blueprint said, prosperity is dangerous and wrong for someone like me. One evening, tired of the pattern, he sat quietly and heard something he had never heard clearly before, his own inner dialogue. He noticed the voice that whispered, Who do you think you are? Every time he made a bold choice, he heard the secret sentence, You are destined to struggle, humming like background music in his mind. That night became the beginning of his liberation. Instead of fighting the voice, he recognized it as an old program, a pattern impressed upon his subconscious when he was too young to choose. And he made a new decision. I will plant a different seed. He began to practice what Joseph Murphy called scientific prayer. Each morning and each night he entered a state of quiet, breathing slowly until his body relaxed and his brain waves softened. In this receptive state, he repeated calmly and feelingly, The infinite intelligence within me is my source of supply. I am worthy of abundance. Money flows to me in harmonious, wonderful ways. I use it wisely and lovingly. I am guided to right action and right opportunity. At first the old pattern mocked him. The subconscious, having been conditioned for years, did not shift overnight. Yet he persisted, not in strain, but in gentle certainty. As days turned into weeks, subtle changes appeared. He found himself acting with more confidence. He noticed opportunities that had always been there, but had previously seemed invisible. His nervous system, once tuned to scarcity, began to resonate with sufficiency. Neuroscientists would say his neural pathways were rewiring. Spiritual law would say his subconscious finally accepted a new blueprint. The result was the same. His outer life slowly reorganized it. Self. A promotion came. A creative idea blossomed into a side business. Debt decreased. Peace increased. What had changed? The silent engine. The mental factory had received new instructions, and, obedient as ever, it had manufactured a new experience. This is the law of your life. The subconscious does not hold grudges. It does not cling to the past out of malice. It simply continues to produce according to the last accepted order. When you give it new orders, repeated with conviction and feeling, it must eventually respond. This is not superstition. It is mental law, mirrored in the plasticity of your brain, in the adaptability of your nervous system, in the responsiveness of your cells to thoughts and emotions. Your whole being is an electromagnetic broadcasting station, and the subconscious is the chief technician setting the frequency of your signal. Now let us go deeper into the realm of night, where the conscious mind loosens its grip and the subconscious becomes especially receptive. There is a powerful method known to all mystics and taught continuously through the ages, the use of sleep as a gateway for reprogramming. Joseph Murphy called it the sleeping method. In modern terms, we might say that as you drift toward sleep, your brain passes through a borderland of slower waves, alpha, then theta. In this state, the critical, analytical faculty grows quiet, and the doorway to the subconscious opens wider. Whatever thoughts, images, and emotions you dwell upon in this twilight zone are like seeds dropped directly into fertile soil. So tonight, when all is quiet, you can harness this sacred window. Before you sleep, do not replay the pains of the day. Do not rehearse arguments, fears, or disappointments. To do so is to write a script for your subconscious to project tomorrow. Instead, you will gently choose what you want your inner factory to produce. As you lie in bed, bring your attention to your breath. Feel it flow in and out like a tide. Allow your body to soften, muscle by muscle. Then, in a voice so soft it is almost a thought, begin to speak to your subconscious as you would speak to a beloved child who trusts you completely. You may say, "Tonight, as I sleep, the infinite intelligence within me heals my mind and body. Every cell is being restored to balance. I am guided in my decisions. Solutions rise easily in my awareness. I am loved, supported, and supplied by the source of all. Tomorrow I awaken refreshed, clear, and inspired." Do not rush, do not force. Whisper these statements inwardly with a sense of gentle certainty, as if describing what is already true in the invisible. Feel the peace of their reality as though you had already received the answered prayer. Then allow yourself to drift into sleep with this atmosphere wrapped around you like a warm cloak. Your subconscious, ever listening, receives the message, and during the night it begins its silent work, adjusting your chemistry, organizing your ideas, opening doors you will walk through in the days to come. Now let us speak of a subtle yet profound art, ional alchemy. Just as ancient alchemists sought to transform base metals into gold, you are called to transform base emotional states into higher ones, fear into trust, anxiety into peace, resentment into forgiveness. This transformation is not denial. It is not pretending that pain is pleasant. It is the recognition that every emotion is energy, and energy can be transmuted by how you interpret and hold it in consciousness. Consider a woman who lived each day with a knot of anxiety in her stomach. She woke with dread, moved through her hours with an undercurrent of fear, and went to bed exhausted, only to repeat the cycle. She tried to suppress it, distract herself, or drown it in noise, but the anxiety persisted. One day she learned that her subconscious mind had been conditioned long ago to anticipate danger. As a child, she had lived in an unpredictable environment. Her body learned that vigilance was survival. Her subconscious continued this automatic program long after the danger had passed. Instead of fighting the anxiety, she began to meet it as a messenger. When the knot appeared, she brought her awareness to it and breathed softly into the sensation. With each breath, she silently repeated, "I am safe now. My body can relax." The infinite intelligence within me is my protection and my peace. She envisioned the anxiety as tight, dark threads of energy, slowly being warmed and loosened by the light of her attention. Over time, something remarkable occurred. The same physiological signals that once meant danger became cues for her to pause, breathe, and reconnect with inner safety. She had alchemized her emotional pattern. Modern neuroscience would say that she created new associations in her brain. The limbic system, once fused with fear, began pairing those bodily sensations with calm, due to her repeated conscious response. Spiritually, we say she offered her pain to the divine presence within, and through prayerful awareness, that presence transmuted it. Her subconscious accepted a new law. I am safe in the present. I am supported by life. As that belief took root, her outer circumstances began to reflect it. Health improved, relationships softened, and unforeseen support appeared. You can do the same. When a negative emotion arises, instead of condemning yourself, you gently recognize, this is a program. It is not who I am. It is an old pattern surfacing to be healed. Then you invite the infinite within to reinterpret the sensation. You breathe slowly, and with each exhale, you release the old story attached to the feeling. With each inhale, you affirm a new truth. Divine love fills me. Infinite peace calms me. I am guided and safe. This is emotional alchemy. You are not forcing yourself to be positive. You are revealing the deeper truth beneath the storm and offering your subconscious a different meaning to accept. In this work, you will find a powerful ally, the law of substitution. The mind cannot hold two opposing ideas at the same time with equal intensity. When a negative thought arises, I will fail, I am alone, this will never change, you need not struggle against it. His struggle is itself a form of attention, and attention gives life. Instead, you gently substitute. You introduce a different thought, chosen deliberately, and you feed it with your attention until it becomes stronger than the old one. If a thought says, I am not enough, you substitute quietly, the infinite within me is always enough. I am an expression of that infinite. I am adequate for every situation because it acts through me. At first, the old thought may return with force, like a storm protesting its displacement. Yet each time, you respond not with fear, but with substitution, another constructive, truthful idea, gently but firmly affirmed. Over time, the new thought grows roots in your subconscious, and the old one withers from disuse. This is how habits of thinking are changed. It is like redirecting a river. Water will flow where the channel is deepest, and your thoughts will flow where the neural pathways are most established. Substitution is the act of digging a new channel. At first the water trickles, but as you persist, more and more flows in the new direction, until eventually the old bed dries up. Your subconscious accepts the new route as normal, and your life follows its course. To deepen this rerouting, you employ visualization, the spiritual technology that has powered every great creator. Your subconscious mind thinks in images. Words are merely triggers that evoke pictures and feelings. When you deliberately form an image of your desired state as already accomplished, you are handing your subconscious a blueprint. If you revisit that image regularly, especially in relaxed states, your subconscious begins to treat it as a present reality, adjusting your inner chemistry and outer behavior to match. Close your eyes for a moment, if you are able, and let us practice. Bring to mind a desire, not a fleeting whim, but something that feels true and heartfelt. It may be a state of health, a harmonious relationship, financial ease, or a deeper sense of purpose. Now, instead of thinking of it as distant, gently see yourself living it now. See the scene in as much sensory detail as you can. The room you are in, the colors around you, the expression on your face. Notice how you are standing or sitting, how you are breathing. Hear the sounds, a voice congratulating you, the quiet hum of a peaceful home, the sounds of nature as you walk in health and freedom. Now shift from the picture to the feeling. Ask yourself, if this were already true, how would I feel in my body? perhaps lighter, expansive, safe, grateful. Allow that feeling to spread through you like warmth spreading from the center of your chest. This feeling is the language your subconscious understands. You are telling it, "This is who I am. This is my reality." Remain in this feeling for a few moments, not straining or analyzing, simply dwelling in the sweetness of it. You are not trying to make something happen. You are accepting that it already is in the unseen, and you are aligning with it. In that state, you may quietly declare, "Thank you, infinite intelligence, that this is now being made visible in my life in perfect ways. I accept it. I rejoice in it. I release it to you." Then you let the image soften and you return to your ordinary awareness, carrying a residue of that feeling with you. If you practice this visualization daily, especially before sleep or upon waking, you are engraving a new pattern upon your subconscious. The mental factory receives the divine blueprint, and the silent engine begins to organize circumstances, ideas, and inner guidance to bring it into form. There is a sacred principle that amplifies this process: secrecy and silence. The seed grows best when it is hidden beneath the soil, protected from the harsh winds of criticism and doubt. When you are nurturing a new vision, a new belief about yourself, it is often wise to keep it private, shared only with the infinite within, and perhaps one or two souls who truly understand spiritual law. When you broadcast your desire prematurely, you may encounter the skepticism, fear, or jealousy of others, and if your own conviction is still tender, their words can weaken your belief. So you smile and live your life quietly, while within you are carrying a luminous seed. You talk to it in your heart. You water it with prayer and gratitude. You fertilize it with visualization and emotional alignment. You protect it with silence. In time, the outer results will speak for themselves, and those who once doubted will marvel at your luck. But you will know there was no accident. There was only law, faithfully applied. Throughout this journey, it is essential to remember your subconscious mind is always listening. Every casual remark, every self-deprecating joke, every internal complaint is a suggestion delivered to the most powerful creative instrument you possess. When you say, "My memory is terrible," your subconscious obeys. When you remark, "I always get sick this time of year," it obliges. When you declare, "Nothing ever works out for me," it takes that as a command. Yet the opposite is also true. When you say, "Ideas come to me easily," your subconscious responds by opening the channels of inspiration. When you affirm, "My body knows how to heal," it activates the inner doctor, mobilizing your immune system and repair mechanisms. When you declare, "I am guided to the right people and right opportunities," it nudges your attention toward those very connections. Begin then to treat your words as precious. Let your mouth be a gatekeeper of your destiny. When you notice a negative statement forming, gently redirect it. You do not scold yourself, you simply choose again, knowing that each word spoken with feeling is a unit of creative power. Over time, as your speech becomes more aligned with truth, your subconscious is bathed in a new atmosphere of suggestion, and your life reflects that. Consider now another story, one of healing. A man receives a frightening diagnosis. His conscious mind trembles with fear. His thoughts race with what if. At first he is overwhelmed. The subconscious, having been impressed for years with images of sickness, perhaps from family patterns or societal conditioning, immediately conjures scenes of decline. His body tightens, his sleep fragments, his immune system weakens. It seems a vicious circle. But one night, unable to bear the weight of fear any longer, he sits quietly in the dark and speaks within himself. "There is an intelligence that created my body. It knows how to mend bones, close wounds, and regulate my heartbeat. This same intelligence lives in every cell of me now. It is my inner physician. I will trust it." He begins to study not merely the medical treatments, but stories of people who have recovered, people who have defied predictions. Each story becomes a suggestion to his subconscious. Healing is possible. The outcome is not fixed. He adopts a simple practice. Several times a day, and especially before sleep, he closes his eyes and imagines a soft, radiant light suffusing his body. He pictures his cells responding, aligning, harmonizing. He does not visualize in frantic desperation, but with quiet reverence, as if watching the infinite at work. He repeats slowly, "Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. The healing presence of the infinite is flowing through me now." Weeks pass. His mind, once dominated by images of fear, is now repeatedly offered images of restoration. His nervous system shifts from chronic stress toward calmer states, allowing his body's natural healing mechanisms to function more effectively. While he continues to follow practical medical guidance, he recognizes that he is also working at the level of cause, the subconscious patterns that either hinder or assist recovery. In time, improvement becomes evident. The doctors speak of unexpected progress. He gives thanks not only for the outer help, but for the inner law that responded the moment he chose to change his inner pictures. This is not magic. It is alignment with the universal intelligence that permeates everything. Your thoughts and emotions are not confined to your skull. They ripple through your nervous system, influence your hormones, affect the epigenetic switches on your DNA. They radiate outward into the field of possibilities, attracting experiences that match their frequency.